everybody, welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I am here to give you my review of the latest Disney Plus original, Godmothered. Now, yes, I'm like one of the only people who reviews Disney Plus originals. Like, literally, if you go on there, I'm like the only review of Togo, Timmy Failure, and nothing. I'm the only one who reviews these Disney Plus originals. I review everything in general, you know, if I really want to watch it. Like, you saw how many Netflix things I reviewed for, like, in a row, like, when I was reviewing them. I'm gonna review Sabrina. I'm gonna review a couple things. I really haven't reviewed Big Mouth. You know, I might get back on that. But there are a couple things, you know, I go where I go. Like, I reviewed The Boys. But I have Disney Plus, so I'm always like in it, you know, so sometimes I'm on there. So, Godmothered. Now, this is a very good, Godmothered, in short, if I had to give you just like a description of what it is, think if Elf and Enchanted had a baby. It looked a lot like Godmother. That's what it is. The humor is Elf, but the vibe is Enchanted. That's basically what I can give you. If you liked Elf and thought Elf was funny, then you're probably gonna still think this isn't as funny as Elf, but you're still probably gonna think it's pretty funny. Like, if you liked Elf and what Will Ferrell was doing, you're gonna like this movie. You're gonna think it's a funny movie. And if you liked Enchanted, then you're gonna really like this movie. I think this movie has the potential, and while it might not be fantastic, you know, it doesn't reinvent the wheel much. It doesn't do too many original things. It has the potential that, depending on what kind of kids get to see this movie, it could be a classic. Honestly, it could be a classic. Because when I watch the movie, it's a breeze. It's about an hour and about 40-something minutes, maybe an hour and 30 minutes. Actually, it's a breeze of a movie. It flies by because it's just a sweet, heartfelt movie. And it's a sweet, heartfelt movie with many messages about being afraid, about what happy ever after actually means, about evolving, about not letting the past drag you down. But there are many beautiful, great messages in this movie. Great performances from the two main actresses. Shoot. I know I want to get the actresses' names right, so I'm gonna just look at it. I think her name is Alicia Fisher and Julian Bell. Julian Bell is really the main character in this. She plays a godmother named Eleanor, and in this world, fairies, you know, godmothers, you know, fairy godmother, you know, are all or one creature. It's just your job title changes because, you know, in this world, godmothers are pretty much obsolete. She's at this school for freaking godmothers. All these old godmothers in there, and it's a crappy looking school. Like, it completely hasn't been renovated. And, you know, they got old stuff in there, and they all still dress old. And it's just like, okay, all right, what's going on here? And it becomes abundantly clear that the school, as you know, they're not losing magic, but the school has lost its use because nobody because in real life, no one really believes in happy ever after. Or at least it's more complicated. It's less simple than it used to be, you know, with Cinderella and shit. It's not that simple anymore. So the school's about to get shut down, and it's literally just like, okay, well, what are we gonna do? But Eleanor is like a huge fangirl for all of the fairy tales and all of being a godmother, and she's so jazzed she wants to be a godmother. And they kind of make a point of it, like, because all the other godmothers are older, and she's the only young one. They kind of make the point that she's the only one who came here. No one comes here anymore. Every other person who has, you know, magical abilities like a fairy, they go and do another job. And apparently, like, the most common job for a fairy is a tooth fairy, because they're about to shut this whole school down, and they're about to reassign all these godmothers as tooth fairies. And the way they talk about it is like it's like being a freaking. The way they talk about it is like being a plumbers. The way they talk about it is like you go from being a rock star to being a freaking like a plumber. It's like the paychecks come in, you got a decent job, you can live off of this, but it's not as, you know, it's not as rewarding as, you know, as helping, you know, women and you know, children reach their dreams, being a godmother, you know. And so Eleanor, trying in an attempt to save the school, save godmothering as an entire concept, she goes into their little library, because apparently they got this like area where they keep like contracts, because like that's what it is. Like a little girl or a little boy, I assume, writes something to you, and like they send it out, and it somehow gets there, and a godmother shows up to help them out. and it's empty, dude. There's nothing in there. Like, none of that crap's there. She's looking around, and Eleanor's kind of a novice. They kind of make sure you know that off the top. Like, she doesn't quite know how to use her magical ability. She's still trying to figure it out. She keeps exploding pumpkins every 5 seconds. She can't even levitate properly. She keeps crashing into shit. And those bits are kind of funny, humorous as well. But, you know, she finds this contract for a little girl named Mackenzie Walsh. She's like, I'm gonna go out there, save Mackenzie, you know, show that there's still use for us, and everyone will see why there's still use for us. She goes out into the real world. Turns out, not only was this problem first of all, the world has changed. It's now modern day. You gotta understand, if you look at that castle and look the way they were living, you would think it's still the medieval times. You'd think it's still some shit like Cinderella going on, that kind of time period. So when she comes there, she has no idea of any of these concepts of what the world is now. Cell phones, trucks, cars. She don't know what the hell's going on. And once again, like I said, she's a novice, so she can't even do the spell she wants to do. Anywho, that's just one of the problems. The other problem turns out that contract she found on Mackenzie Walsh is old. She's like 35 years old with 2 kids. And it's just like, oh. And that's pretty much the premise. And she's 35 years old with 2 kids, and she's kind of and the thing about Mackenzie is that she's kind of, in the beginning, you kind of see her, like, she's kind of playing that, I'm doing what I gotta do. Like, you could tell that the actress, Fisher, she was playing it like, I want more, she wanted more out of life, but life crapped on her. That's basically what it is. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but life crapped on her. Life gave her a shitty hand, and she just let it soak. Instead of finding ways to overcome it and moving forward, she just sat in it. And you can see it in her face. You can see it in her, how the way she acts. You can see it in the way she is. She just sat in the downer. She just sat in the downer and just didn't know how to get out of it. And Eleanor is, you know, like I said, still attempting to help her. Chaos ensues, and lovely Christmas, you know, family-friendly movie happens. Like I said, this movie really is Enchanted and Elf. It's Elf, it's Enchanted, it's just a lovely movie. It's not the best movie I've ever seen. I can tell you right now, I'd give it like a 7.5 because I don't think it does enough original things. But as a holiday movie to watch with your family, to watch with the kids, this is a perfect movie, honestly. As that, it might be a 9 as that, because while I'm watching it, because you know how I am, I have 2 different thought sets. I always look at a movie and I'll think of it as a movie and go, does this work? Does that work? Did you do this? Did you do more original things here? Could you have done something different here? And you know, usually, and with this movie, I will agree, with this movie, I can't tell you it's like a fantastic top 5. This is a holiday movie of the century, you know, kind of thing. This is the next, you know, thing. But it's right in line with the Santa Claus, with Claus, with all of these Christmas holiday movies that are just family friendly. Everyone can gather around and watch it, have a good time, have some laughs, learn some lessons, have some, you know, characters that leave an impression on you. And that's how I ended up feeling by the end of it. I was like, you know what? This movie's not perfect, but it left me with a nice warm feeling. It left me with a, you know what? I like this. I liked the movie. I did. Like, I didn't think I would. I avoided watching it. It came out a couple weeks ago. I avoided watching it because I was like, I don't want to watch this damn thing, man. You know, whatever. But then I watched it, and it really made me feel nostalgic. I think some people who grew up, who are my age, might feel a bit nostalgic for it, because when you're watching, you'll feel it. You'll feel nostalgia for older holiday movies that you watch. Like I said, like a Santa Claus, or like, you just get what I mean, though. Like an Elf, Santa Claus, or Enchanted. You will feel that vibe. You will be like, man, I kind of miss that stuff. I remembered. I kind of miss that stuff. And this movie is old school Disney. It's so old school Disney. This is the kind of movie that Disney used to make all the time. And this is gonna be the home of these kind of movies, which is kind of nice, you know, having all these kind of movies in one location. I would give Godmothered as a movie, I give it a solid 7. It's a 7.5. As a holiday movie for the family, it's probably a 9. As a holiday movie for the family, like if you got families and you guys just want to sit together and watch something and, you know, just have a good time this is probably a good movie. It's probably a good movie. Thank you guys for joining the Comic Gaming Movie Show. Please comment below. Have you checked this movie out? If you haven't, it might not be your cup of tea. Like I said, it might not be your cup of tea if you're not that kind of person. Like if you just, if you don't have like families and kids and stuff, it might not be a cup of tea. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was a decent enough. I thought it was a good family movie. So thank you guys for joining the Comic Gaming Movie Show. Please like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.